Welcome to Reading the Psalms, as we immerse ourselves in the beauty and mystery of these ancient poems, songs, and prayers. It's my hope that together we will experience God's voice as heard through the heartfelt, often passionate words of the psalmist. Well, Psalm 3 has quite the story attached to it. This psalm is written by King David, and he has a big problem on his hands. This psalm is again referencing 2 Samuel, and I believe here it's chapters 15 through 18. King David's own son, Absalom, has decided he wants to be king, and he will do whatever it takes, including doing away with his own dad, to have that power. And on top of that, many of King David's friends and followers have decided to abandon him in his time of need. So they leave him and then they go and jump on the Absalom train. Psalm 3 is King David's emotional response to everything that's going on in his life at that moment. So let's take a look at what it says. Lord, I have so many enemies. So many are standing against me. So many are talking about me. Even God won't help him. But you, Lord, are my shield. You are my glory. You are the one who restores me. I cry out to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy mountain. I lie down and sleep and wake up because the Lord helps me. I won't be afraid of thousands of people surrounding me on all sides. Stand up, Lord. Save me, my God. In fact, hit all my enemies on the jaw. Shatter the teeth of the wicked. Rescue comes from the Lord. May your blessing be on your people. And you think your family has problems. Nothing like having to flee in the middle of the night from your home, even your own country, because your adult child has sent an army to kill you. The story in 2 Samuel gets even more bizarre. But in all seriousness, it can be utterly devastating when there is division within a family or when a loved one, a child, a parent, a sibling, turns against you. Unfortunately, many times we see families that were once loving and close suddenly being torn apart like that, often due to the brokenness of this world. Things like divorce, addictions, mental illness that often goes left untreated because of the stigma of it or because of no resources available. And it's heartbreaking. And suddenly we're surrounded with feelings of fear and sadness, helplessness, feeling totally isolated and angry. We find ourselves like David crying out to God, like we see in verse 1. Lord, I have so many enemies. In other words, I feel so alone right now and I'm scared. But look at what David does next. Verse 3, David remembers the promise that God made him. He remembers God's promise that he will never leave his side, that God alone is his refuge, his strength when others fail him. When he fears for his life, he remembers the God who will deliver him. And he worships God. Right in the middle of all the chaos, he bows down and worships God. You are my shield. You are my glory. God is our shield too. God surrounds us entirely, completely, above us, below us, and beside us. When we place our focus and our trust in God, we are never alone. So, where do we see Jesus in this psalm? Well, I think we see him in a boat. Look at verses 5 and 6 in this psalm. I lie down, sleep, and wake up because the Lord helps me. I won't be afraid of thousands of people surrounding me on all sides. Remember reading in the Gospel of Mark when Jesus fell asleep in the boat with the disciples and this wicked storm came up, and the disciples had to wake up Jesus because he was totally oblivious to this storm. He was snoring. Well, I don't know if he was snoring or not, but it sounds like maybe he was. The disciples just yell at him, "Teacher, don't you care that we are drowning?" Jesus just stands up, calms the storm, and then looks at the disciples and says, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? God will take care of you." How often have I done just the same thing? Where are you, God? And every time, Jesus, the one whom even the wind and the sea obey, comes to me, holds me, and calms the storm. Do not fear, for I am with you. Trust that God is with you. Let's say a prayer. God, our refuge and strength, when we feel as if the whole world is against us, when we feel as though we are completely alone in the eye of the storm, help us to remember that you are there with us. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but you come to bring us life, life in all its fullness. May we rest, knowing you are here. Thank you for your love, your protection, and your peace, no matter what. Amen. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.